Hello, good morning. Welcome back to the Friday Showdown. If you guys are brand new, this in these sessions we do some live trading. And for those that don't know, we are located in Florida, so we did have a hurricane just hit us. So Big Dog will not be joining this session as he still has no power. So he's fighting through that. And all prayers to those are in Florida that got hit by the hurricane. We pray to you guys and hope everyone's safe. We're all good here, thank God. But today we're gonna do some live trading. Just gonna be me, so we're gonna break down some trades and do some live trading. I might even do a bonus where we go ahead and take a look at futures and NQ and ES and see if we can find a setup there. So bear with me. Sorry for the background. We still had a bunch of stuff packed up for the hurricane, so bear with me. I also have a little bit of sickness this morning with my throat, so we're gonna make through it this session. So thank you guys for joining, and we're gonna go ahead and start right after this break. All right. Oh, excuse me. Like I said, find a little sickness this morning, so just bear with me. But welcome back. If you guys, like I said, if you're brand new, you enjoy live trading, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We do this every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Okay. Now, unfortunately, we don't have Big Dog join us, so we usually have both of us in these sessions doing a little bit of a trade battle. But now it's just gonna be me. I'm gonna be running the show, and we're gonna take a look at. Usually, we take a look at 5 Forex pairs, break them down, and then use our tool, our smart entry AI tool, to go ahead and place those trades live. So we're gonna go and see if we have any opportunities, any trade opportunities for that, and I'm gonna take a look at futures and just give you guys a little breakdown, maybe a little bonus, pair there as well. But I'm looking at futures right now, and to be honest, it's very, very choppy, very not really a good open this morning. But let's go ahead and share my screen. We'll just break down some stuff here and have some fun. All right. All right. All right, looking at futures right now, looking at ES, as you can see, very cumulative, very choppy. We're respecting this order block. I was waiting for us to run through this insufficiency. We finally just now got this displacement on the 5 minute. So here I'm looking for this now to be the draw. Price is going to run to this high. If there was an opportunity for a run of stops back to some sort of bullish P array, that would be a great opportunity to buy. If we go the daily here we have this insufficiency. This could be a key area that price we want to retrace to, and maybe look for a entry year targeting buy side here. Now, let me see if it's even worth the trade. So it's about 150 ticks. Got about 150 ticks. I mean, it's not bad of a trade. If I'm risking this, so if we get that constant encroachment here, we also probably want to put our stop loss pretty low here. We don't know if price wants to run to this insufficiency and run lower to this order block here. Same thing with this breaker here as well. But this would be a run of internal liquidity. We do have a smart money, an SMT at these highs. As you can see, ES has been shown very bullish. ES is already taking out all this buy side liquidity. If I zoom out here, you can see all this buy side here has been completely swept on ES. So because we have a SMT forming here, a bearish SMT, we want to keep in mind that we could see a reversal and price could run through these insufficiencies and run lower to sell side, right? Want to keep that in mind, or we just get a run to internal and then run to buy side. Okay. Now, if ES just NQ just continues to push through buy side here, we'd have to be a little more patient out for a new setup here, as this has already been complete. I trade using the market maker buy and sell model, so this would be the buy opportunity here. As you can see, I was looking for a buy opportunity. This order block was kind of where I was looking for to enter, but reason I didn't enter is because if we go the 5 minute here, I'll show you why. If you go the 5 minute, you can see that this insufficiency here on the 5 minute was holding. You can see this until we had this displacement right now. So we were pretty much rejecting here. We had price run here again, so we had a run of sell stops here. You can see this candle wick right here. That indicates pretty bullish sentiment here. That's why we had this big push. I'm expecting price to run to this buy side. I don't know if it's going to run to these highs up here that ES is already swept. As you can see, ES has swept all these highs. Okay, all the way up here as well. So pretty choppy. There we go. We're seeing price now just sweep buy side here. We're now heading into that 10 o'clock. So what we want to see here on this 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock window, we want to see an expansion. We want to see price running higher. And then my next setup would be is waiting for price to run to a higher time frame insufficiency and then look for the internal model back to buy side. That's if we get this expansion. I want to see an expansion here, right? Price running like it wants to draw to these areas of buy side up here. And if you zoom out too on the higher time frame, we are pretty bullish here on the higher time frame as well. If I go the 1 hour here, you can see this has become the draw. We had now this internal liquidity here. So that's why I was looking for a buy because we were actually in a higher time frame insufficiency here. Okay. This buy side imbalance. So yeah, I'm pretty bullish. I want to see price run higher. So I'm looking for a bullish setup. So right now we had this internal model complete. There was somewhat of an opportunity to trade there. I didn't like it. Didn't take a trade. Now what I want to look for is this, a continuation, this expansion, and then look for another retest back to some internal liquidity and then kind of trade that internal model. So we'll go through some Forex pairs and then we'll come back here and we'll look at NQ and see how it's setting up after we take a look at some Forex pairs. I'm going to go ahead and pull the dashboard up here. I believe we have some positions from last time. We have US dollar CAD positions and then the CAD Swiss positions. Okay, so we have three pairs that are tradable this morning, and then we'll go ahead and break down those pairs as well. That look to see where we want to target that. So the CAD Swiss, we're in 22 positions here, and we're buying. CAD Swiss has been just pretty choppy. Really nothing going on. I like what I'm seeing here. This expansion move. We should see it continue to expand higher. And then I'm going to look for a silver bullet setup here. Price running to this higher time frame insufficiency. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete all this and be ready for this. So let's take a look at the CAD Swiss. And here you can see exactly what I mean by just we've been accumulating ever since we had that expansion to sell side right here. This expansion move, we just had it rebalance and just continue to accumulate in this range, which I've been telling my VIP members, this is pretty much what I've been expecting for the last weeks. It's actually been a long time price has been accumulating here since, we've been accumulating since the middle of August. We had this rebalance at the beginning of August, and they've just been continuing to run sideways. So all we're doing is just chopping up, running internal highs and lows. That's pretty much it. So there's really nothing going on here. Now I am bearish here. We do have some buys. I would expect that we're going to chop lower. We're not really getting any like swings or any expansion moves here. We're just kind of getting these little. Come on, mouse. So right now I'm looking for this internal sell side to be the draw. I think we're running here. I know we could possibly run lower and run through all this. I'm looking for price to come here. Like we could run back to this external low here, or we could run to some sort of these quadrant levels that I have here. All this higher time frame candle wick. These are key areas that price could want to rebalance and reject, showing which sentiment it is, if it's bullish or bearish, right? I like to see it respect constant encroachment. That gives me more bullish sentiment that price will want to bounce back up. but it's just very choppy. Nothing really going on in the cat twist. We're just been moving sideways, okay, and we're just kind of waiting for some sort of expansion or some sort of displacement out of this area, and we haven't received that yet. The other one is the US dollar CAD. Now, the US dollar CAD is interesting because we have sells here. And let's go ahead and pull this up here on the US dollar CAD. And we're seeing it now in an area that could play as resistance. Now, let's go through this right here. Okay. So the daily, you're on the daily. I don't know what's going on. My mouse has just been tripping. Um, this mouse, I don't know what's going on. All right. It's like kind of laggy. All right. So what we saw here on the daily is we ran buy side, right? And then we had this expansion. This expansion to me identified there was a change of character, that we're running to sell side liquidity. Then we kind of had this rebalance. Okay, we always want to see price kind of rebalance to equilibrium, which is 50% of this price leg. Okay, we need to rebalance supply and demand. That's kind of how the market works, right? One of the things the market likes to do. We got that rebalance and we ran to insufficiency. Again, price. Also, one of the things the market likes to do is rebalance insufficiency. So here if we go the weekly, and we had a nice run. So this could be, to me, is a run of internal liquidity. So I have some confluence that we're going to continue bearish. My bias is bearish. As you can see, why is because we ran buy side and then we displaced. So what we see here is this also an AMD setup here. We had this accumulation, price manipulated, and then we distributed lower. Now all this generates sell side. I want to see price run lower. Once we have a distribution, because it's such a big move in the market, this expansion move, there's going to be reason for price to retrace, to rebalance. And this is pretty much where I'm looking for price to continue to rebalance here. I'm looking at the weekly time frame here. So this is actually the weekly. And the reason is I'm looking at this insufficiency to hold up. Now, if price runs through this insufficiency, then the draw is higher. Then we're running to probably this external buy side that we initially wanted to take, but we never did. But because we saw this movement, this to me identifies a change of character. I'm still confirmed that we want to run to sell side here. We did sweep this internal low and then we displaced higher. So I don't have super conviction that we're going to run lower, but I'm still have some confluence that this could reject. And if anything, if we do want to run higher, if we go to the lower time frame, let's go like the 4 hour. Or actually, we can just even go the daily here. This again is another expansion move. I'd like to see if we want to run through this, it's going to run to some sort of internal liquidity and then want to run through this. Okay. So what we're going to get is probably faked out. We're going to say, oh, it's rejecting. Okay, we're rejecting. We're going to run bearish. And that's not most likely because here we had this expansion move. Price could also want to just rebalance here to equilibrium and also possibly come back to these breakers blocks and come back into this area as an internal liquidity grab and then run through this. So once again, I'm holding sells in the VIP. Let's see where our break even is here on these on this account here. So 36.73. Okay, so we're oops. So it's only about like right here. This is where our break even is. Okay. And that's perfect. And that's perfect. Now we could adjust our take profit here and look to trade to this equilibrium, which would be about close to 45 pips, gross pips. So if we're in 9 positions, how many positions are we? 9 positions. 9 times 40. What is that? 360, right? So that could be our net take profit right there. Net pip take profit if we're looking to trade to equilibrium of this price leg. Okay. So that's up to you if you want to make those adjustments. I expect price could possibly run to this equilibrium and where it's pretty much sitting at this breaker block as well. Okay. So that's pretty much where I'm expecting price to run if it wants to reject off this. This could be a key area, and then this could play as support if we want to run higher. I'd like to see price continue to run through this, run through all this insufficiency of this price leg. Then that indicates to me that we're going to continue to run lower, which is good for the other positions that I have. But this is our break even year on the VIP, so we're pretty much at that equilibrium. And I kind of have my alert set here to see if I want to target more pips or if I want to just get out at my default. Okay. Is my alert on? I don't think it is on. Add that. So I still think we're gonna be fine. I'm gonna keep it at 30. I think we still have it at sorry, not 30, 20. We still have this set to 20. Yep, fixed net still. We still have this set to 20. We can change this, okay? We can definitely adjust this. I mean, I'll do it for the show. So let's go for 300 instead of 360. We just go for round up to 300 here, and we're just targeting now equilibrium. And I'll show you how we can do that with the Smart Entry AI tool. That's available for all our VIP members here. So our fixed net pip, we go ahead and adjust this to 300. Let me just make sure I have that number right here. It was a break even. What was that break even at again? It was 36.73. Just want to double check here. So about 40. Okay, so about 40 gross pips there, and we're just kind of rounding it off. So we're just rounding off to 300 net pips. Okay, so there's that for the US dollar CAD. We've made an adjustment here for our take profit, and that's the thing when we enter more positions, and that's why we trade the external model. Because when we have an internal grab and we add more positions, then we can look to target more than just our 20 net, our default 20 net pips there. We can target more. Let's take advantage of the position that we've added. So there's that, okay? Looking for this equilibrium move. Now, if we don't reject off here and we don't run to equilibrium, we continue to move higher, then we have to just come in another day and find a new setup or a new entry or exit point. So that's the US dollar CAD. I can see there's a short-term retracement, if anything, right, for equilibrium. Now let's go to the Euro US dollar. And the same thing with the Euro US dollar. Here we are coming back into a higher time frame. Insufficiency. Okay. I can see that we possibly want to run lower on the Euro US dollar. We had this move again here, this expansion move here. I could look to see price to rebalance here before running lower. Same thing on the US dollar CAD. So there's an opportunity for price to run lower. You can also see here this weekly showed insufficiency here as well. So we could run to this insufficiency on the weekly. So there is an opportunity for a higher time frame. I'm sorry, for a bullish internal grab here. We also had this external buy side that we never continued to move to. We kind of took out this internal high and then accumulate and then reject lower. So what we could see, this could be some sort of internal grab. This is what could happen, right? This could be the internal grab and we can move higher. Or if price continues to run through this, then these generate sell side becomes the draw. And we could run to one of these levels here and possibly even run to this because why? We never rebalance equilibrium of this price leg. So looking at the Euro US dollar, there is a possibility that we can run lower. Here's our equilibrium. This low never tapped into equilibrium. It ran all this sell side here, but then we continued higher. So there is an opportunity for price to run lower, but the external year to me is pretty bullish. We had this big expansion. I want to see all this generated buy side continue to run higher, sweep in those areas. So the external is bullish. Now, if I go the lower time frame, what's the internal model showing here? Internal model is showing that we can possibly run to this low here, this sell side here. We're now just testing this daily buy side balance. It's kind of respecting, but I would assume that we're going to run through this. Okay. We also have another insufficiency that price could reject and then retrace. I think there will be some short-term retracement though. So let me go to a lower time frame here. Let's go to 1 hour. So you can see this insufficiency that ran here to this internal liquidity, and we'll continue to run through this. So pretty bearish here. I'm pretty bearish here. I pretty much want to go ahead and look for a sell here. As you can see, this was a run to liquidity. If this was a run to the internal liquidity, see that run, this insufficiency here, price would run through this if we were continuing to move bullish. But look at that, price respected that, and we're like running now again through this higher time frame buy side balance. So the only reason I would expect for price to run higher is to rebalance. Okay, looking for a rebalance. And as of right now, you can see this is respecting. Okay, so if we run through this to me becomes a buy side that price will want to sweep. And maybe if we run through this, then we're looking for equilibrium. Now, we haven't done any of that. So I'm not bullish until we see that. So right now I'm bearish. So I'm going to go with a sell here. And if we get a rebalance and we add positions, that's fine because we're looking for price to continue to come back up here, respect these areas, and run lower. So let's go with the sell here on the Euro-US dollar. And this is good too because we're hedging against our US dollar CAD position. So either one will work out as we're hedging. And I would just expect the sell side to be where price would want to draw to. Okay. But like I said, there is an opportunity for a rebalance here. Okay. If price wants to reject off this, there can be a rebalance, or price would want to move lower and not rebalance. It just wants to go ahead and run to this low, respect, and then rebalance. Let's go to the New Zealand CAD and the Aussie CAD. We're starting to get this on the New Zealand CAD and Aussie CAD. We're starting to get price to rebalance here. Okay. As you can see, it's still running into this sell side imbalance here. Okay. But what are we seeing right now on the daily here? We saw this run again to where? Higher time frame, insufficiency. Let's go to the weekly. And what do we see? We continue to see buy side or bullish P raise be respected. And then if you zoom in here, we ran buy side. We had a price run to the internal liquidity. Once again, look at this run. Nice, just one candle movement here on the weekly. Let's go back to the daily. Here you see a run to what? Internal liquidity. This low as well is an internal low. We ran sweeping this low and we rejected. We're rejecting out of this area. If I go the 4 hour, let's see here. We ran through this insufficiency, which probably going to want to see price run through this. This is the sell side balance that was respected. Oops. Okay. I'm looking at this area because why? Price respected this area. Okay. If price can run through this, then I'm expecting an equilibrium run or maybe back to this insufficiency. And maybe we could even continue to run bullish because the external is bullish, right? We see on the higher time frame we're bullish. So what do I do here, right? What do I do? Well, I want to be bullish because the external is bullish, but we are now trading in this sell side imbalance, and that's most likely those are key areas that you want to look to sell at. Okay. I would like to possibly, the better opportunity would be to wait for price to run through this, and then we could look to buy after we see a run through this, right? Now I'm kind of going this trade kind of anticipating. Here we just had another run. Look at this, back to this order block, respected this order block. So I'm still expecting for price to continue to run higher. I want to see price run to at least equilibrium, which is 67 pips. So we're going to just trade this equilibrium move on the New Zealand CAD and buy. And if we go and look at the Aussie CAD, we're going to most likely see the same thing on the Aussie CAD. Prices already rebalanced to equilibrium. We also had another run to that order block, rejected. Same thing on the New Zealand CAD, rejected. And we're seeing another displacement here. Okay. A little bit. We want to see a little bit more displacement through this high, at least. So we want to see a little bit more. And I could look to be targeting this internal high here. And possibly price could even run through this and go higher. But if we go again, zoom out, same thing. External is what? Bullish. Okay. Oops, that's not the weekly. Okay, there it is. External is bullish. Why are we bullish? We swept sell side. We had a market structure shift. Okay. Price rebalanced to equilibrium, respected bullish PD raise, continued to move higher, respected bullish PD raise. Okay. Again, respecting bullish PD raise. We had another displacement through this high, retraced to this internal liquidity, rebalancing this price leg, respecting bullish PD raise. Okay. This to me is the draw. This is the weekly draw. Now we can get manipulation in the market where price wants to run and manipulate and run sell side and then run higher. We can get that in the market, right? Let's not forget that. There's manipulation in the market. But the external bias is bullish. And we trade the external bias with this strategy. Okay. So once again, going to the daily, we had this run to that internal liquidity, this buy side imbalance here, sweeping this internal low, rejecting. And now we want to see it run through these bearish P arrays. Price disrespects these bearish P arrays. It gives us bullish sentiment to run to the buy side. Okay. So once again, pretty bullish here. We're running here. Had a run stop again, respected that order block. That's a run of sell stops. If we indicate or if we identify a run of stops, understand if we're running sell stops, price is pushing higher. So I'm going to be bullish here as well. At least targeting this internal high for now. I think we have enough there to target about 44 pips. So we only targeting at default here at 20 net pips. Okay, unless we make changes. But I'm gonna go ahead and set a buy here on the Aussie CAD as well. Okay. All right, that's pretty much for the Forex pairs. Before we go ahead and take a look back at NQ, I want to do a short break here for our sponsor 8cap. All right. If you're looking for a broker or if you already have a broker and you're looking for a new broker, you can go ahead and use the link below to go ahead and sign up with 8cap. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull up NQ and let's go ahead and finish this showdown and see if we have anything sent up here on NQ. As we continue to see that expansion move, there it is. Beautiful. There it is. There's the expansion. Okay. Exactly what we wanted. And now the only thing you want to wait for is obviously there's going to be an SMT forming your bearish SMT. That bearish SMT is going to push price to this internal liquidity. And you're going to be looking for the setup here. Okay. Now, obviously, there's no setup yet. You have to wait for the setup, right? This is the internal liquidity here. Come on, mouse. Right here. This is in that 10 o'clock window, 10:05. So what I'm looking for is this right here to be my internal liquidity. Okay. Let's say price never comes here and we just run through all this buy side. Then there was no trade opportunity. Okay. There was no trade opportunity. And that's completely fine. You're going to move on with your day and you're going to find a new opportunity the next day. But most likely, I could bet you price is going to run here to this internal liquidity. This is where you're going to find a setup now to buy. Now, a lot of traders maybe want to just say, okay, Price is going to run here. I'm just going to set a buy and have a stop, wide stop loss. You don't want to have too much of a stop loss because what price can do is it can run through here, and the candle wicks can do some damage, running some stops, and they can come back here and close in here. So you'll see a candle wick you're rejecting. You're gonna go, oh, okay, well we are running bullish, but I got stopped out, and then price runs higher. So what I like to look for is on the 5-minute here, wait for price to get here, wait for some sort of displacement out of this area, and then go to the 1 minute and look for that market maker setup that I talk about in my VIP sessions. Those type of models that we look for every morning in my VIP sessions will go in a line just perfectly at this 5-minute fair value gap. So I will zoom into a lower time frame and look for my setup. And then what I'm targeting is, let's say price retraces here, I will look for my setup, enter, and then I'm looking to take partials here and then have runners to these buy sides. Okay, and that will be my last exit. But make sure you take partials. Why I always say that? Because so many traders I know will go ahead and not take partials here. Price will run here, and they targeting all the way here with all their contracts, and then price would maybe do some sort of manipulation, come back, sweep this low, and get you stopped out. And you didn't take any partials, didn't make any money on this trade, and you get stopped out. So you never know what price, what the market's gonna do. It can always manipulate. That's why I take partials. So if I took partials here, price came back, I would probably move my stop loss to break even. Once I take my partials, I get stopped at break even. At least I made some money, and then I can look for another entry here to make more money if price wants to continue to run there. So that's why we always take out partials. Okay. So for NQ this morning, let's wait for the run to internal, and then this is where I'm looking for my trade setup this morning. Okay, and it could probably take till, maybe during the lunch hour in the market at 12 to 1. If we don't get this run past 1 o'clock, I'm probably not going to trade. I'll probably be done. I don't really like to trade after lunch hour. Not really a PM trader. Sometimes if there is a good setup, possibly, but I'm going to be looking for this morning. Okay. Juan says, "Hi Cameron, can you take a look for the pound US dollar and the Aussie New Zealand, please?" Yeah, I can go ahead and do that. So let's take a look at the pound US dollar. Pound US dollar, we're bearish to this internal sell side right here. Okay, pretty much what I'm looking for. If you go the 4-hour here, we had this imbalance created. Price ran up here, rejected. The only thing I would be considering is that we get some sort of run to these internal highs. So what I mean is, if this is the draw, price wants to run here. Why do I think price will run there? Well, first thing is, let me show you why. We had this expansion move. I'm looking for equilibrium. Price is now tapped into equilibrium right here. So now we just tapped into equilibrium. Look at that. It's kind of rejecting at that equilibrium. So maybe we don't run the sell stop. Maybe we just, not sell stop, but sell side liquidity. Maybe we don't run there and we're just rebalancing equilibrium. Now, what I want to, and this, if you go the weekly here, this is just all that insufficiency. I want to see price run through. So I'm just going to delete that. I don't need that right there. If you go the weekly, it's pretty bullish here. Looking at the external, we have equal highs here. This is pretty much where I'm expecting price to continue to run to. So once again, my external is very bullish here. Yeah, we can get some manipulation. We can get some run to sell stop share, run the sell side liquidity. Yeah, but pretty much my external is bullish here. So when I go the daily and I see us running low like this, well, I'm looking at, okay, we had this expansion. We never rebalanced here. See, if we ran here, look at that. We never rebalanced to equilibrium. Then we ran higher. And now we're getting to where prices now run to equilibrium. There it is. I still want to see this internal low. This could be a key area of internal liquidity. We also have insufficiency in this area as well. If you go to the weekly, there it is. Look at this insufficiency here that price is trading to. So we are trading into a buy side imbalance. Our time frame. Okay. So yeah, gotta keep that in mind. This is why I'm bullish, still bullish, but there is an opportunity price could run to sell side here. So if I'm trading with my strategy with dollar cost averaging, I'm looking for buys. I'm not looking to sell. I'm looking for buys where we're at. We're in a higher time frame buy side imbalance. Even if price wants to run lower here and sweep the sell side, I'm okay with adding a couple positions and look for a price to continue to run to my external bias. I'm completely okay with that. I don't mind adding positions if we're just getting internal grab. I don't want to add positions when we're expanding to the external liquidity. That's where I don't want to add positions. Okay. Now, this is what I could possibly see with all this generated buy side here. I could possibly see a manipulation here, and then we could possibly run to sell side here. So either way, a buy would work perfectly fine here. It lines up with the internal grab as well on this model, and then if we do run here, I expect this to reverse back up. So, and then you wanted to look at the Aussie New Zealand. Aussie New Zealand ran to where I anticipate this minor high. As I said, we could see manipulation to the highs. We got that. So there it is. Price is let's go the weekly here. So it's not the weekly I'm looking at here. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Is that the week? What's this buy side here? So yeah, I mean this again. I'd like to see how price rejects out of here. To be honest with you, if I was trying to trade, excuse me, if I was wanting to trade the Aussie New Zealand, what I'm waiting for is I want to sell. If I zoom out here, don't really have the external model here. We've been kind of accumulating. So this to me is a expansion move. We've rebalanced and we've now just accumulated. Okay. Where's price running to? We're just running to internal highs and lows. So I want to see it run lower. So if I'm looking here, because we had this change of character here, I'm looking for this sell side to be kind of the draw. But now I want to see how this is respected. We've manipulated. Is this a manipulation? We don't know yet. I'm assuming it because of this model. So what I want to wait for is see this order block right here. If price can run through this order block and just to run through these insufficiencies here, okay, that now indicates we're bearish. We're possibly get an internal run and then to this external. So I'm kind of waiting. I would probably wait for more confluence. Now, because we're very choppy, it won't hurt you to sell where we're at because if price does run here, you should see possibly just a rejection because we're just accumulating, right? But that's probably what I would be waiting for. I'll be waiting for some sort of market structure shift here. I want to see price kind of reject off this area that we're at right now and kind of run through this order block. If we can get a nice displacement through this order block, creating a breaker, then I'll be pretty bearish. Even though I have some bearish bias here, I'll have a little bit more conviction if we see that. Josh, is any thoughts on the Aussie JPY? I don't trade yen pairs, Joshy. I don't really trade them. Not a fan. So I couldn't really tell you about that. They don't really align with the models that I trade. They just kind of like swing trading. I mean, we can take a look at it, and I'll show you why I don't trade it. Okay. So I'm gonna go the weekly here. And this one's not as bad. You can see it's got a pretty good model set up here. Okay, so looks like buy side's been swept. So we swept this extra buy side. Okay. And you can kind of see it's a lot of swing movement here. So let's go to the daily here. And once we swept that buy side here, we had this huge run again, right? We had this huge run to the downside here. Where is price even running to? I mean, we're just running all this sell side here. So once again, this is why I don't like to trade this. So here we had this huge expansion move, and here we just kind of chopping up another run, respecting above constant encroachment here. So it's showing pretty bullish. We're taking out this buy side. Is that order block in this expansion move could be playing as resistance here. So we could maybe see another rejection, another run to the downside here, sweeping sell side. That's probably pretty much what I would expect. But once again, not clean setups here on these yen pairs. I don't really like to trade them. As you can see, I do have some graphics on this chart because I still look at a lot of pairs, but not a pair I like to trade. Okay. All right. That's pretty much it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We're starting to get a run to this internal liquidity. Okay. And we want to see a sharp movement here. We want to see kind of price run fast to this. It'll look kind of like an algorithmic move. That's because anytime you see those, that's where price runs to internal liquidity. So be patient, guys, because we'll run to this and we can get a lot of stuff happening. We can get price kind of doing this, take out the low, another manipulation, close, and it's still closing in this area. You want to see respect, though. It's okay for the candle wicks to do the damage, but you want to see the body of the candle respect this, okay? So that's why you got to be patient because there's a lot of things that could happen here until you see that one displacement move running through these bearish PRAs. That's where you're going to look for now your bullish PRA to go ahead and enter. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then I don't know. You got to join the VIP sessions to understand. But pretty much what I'm going to be looking for. So for those VIP members that are watching this, you already know if this does set up how I'm saying it, I will get in this trade and I'll go ahead and I'll post that in the Discord. All right, guys. That's pretty much it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe so you guys get notified as well. Make sure you click the notified as we do this every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So join us next Friday, and we'll see you guys then. Other than that, prayers for the people in Florida. We hope everyone recovers and hopefully everyone's safe. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you guys back next Friday. Take care.